I was like hanging out in the street corners.
Well, actually, yeah, he was in
I don't have any more ports. Oh, how high powered is this? I mean, can it be a passive hub? You know what these buttons are for? Do they need to be pressed? Okay, because I've never used it before. This is, I think, the first time using the hub. All right, it's on. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Yeah.
What are you leaving? Just the projector?
But that's my name on it.
Just when you walk in here someday, what's his name? You know what we have?
Go ahead.
And so just I got here that shirt.
Yeah, so we have. I do have a smaller screen that I used to use. So we have that. Still there.
Very sad because I had one. I have two flats and they should do that. I have one that it was in front of the house and it was just like a big stem and then
Okay, welcome to the group. For those of you got the email that said this was going to be the last, if we didn't find some people to take over, because I guess a lot of people saw that one, but they didn't see the follow-up. We do have people that will be taking it over that are way more qualified ever. I should have probably quit a long time ago to have these guys take over. But we have guys that are way more experienced and versatile in different areas that are going to be running and attack. I'll introduce them, and I'll have actually, for now, John Carter. He's going to be actually one of your organizers, and Kirk Prager in the back. He's your second organizer. So, what I would like to go ahead and state is, first of all, thank you guys all very much for running, making this group just so amazing over the last. I've been running for 7 years. It's been going on for 9, and the last 7 that I've been running, it has literally this group has changed my life. My closest network, a group of friends, all came out of this group. The last business I ran, when Steven came out, because Steven came to the group, and that's how I met him. And we started up a business doing marketing for Amazon sellers, and there's just so many things that have just gone on over the years. The job that I do today at my current employment is because of what I learned here, the progression of everything that came out of it, and a lot of the income that is actually it immediately jumped. By the next time I went out, it was already double, and it continued. And at some point, it was supposed to be $1,000 a month residual income. I wasn't doing it. It was just ads just running on the site. And then, for those of you who don't know, Wilson Matos, he's the original founder of the group here. I was actually looking to start my own group. Nobody wanted to do it with me, but I didn't know anything enough about internet marketing to do it. And then I just happened to meetup.com with Wilson, starting it up the same week that I wanted to start my own. So by all means, Wilson Matos is one of the top 20, 30 internet marketers in the world today. So throughout the years, well, he started thinking about he started to invest on the internet, and also he started his family and his kids and everything else, and was moving forward with that. Then he asked if anybody would take over, and with my limited knowledge, I didn't want to stop, because it wasn't necessarily Wilson just sharing his knowledge. It was so many different people that were always coming to the group that really made a difference. So to all of you who've been coming over the years, even if it's only been the last year or just a couple months, it's been an incredible journey, and it's going to continue and get even better. Some of the reason I started to keep on doing it is because John would keep coming. He's one of the guys I hope would always keep coming. I mean, there's like so much that comes about from everything here. We have probably on average, for those of you, how many of you are new today? First time? Okay, so we have usually in the room, it's about 1/3 new. 1/3 have already gotten their feet wet, and about another third who have already been making income consistently and actually can help the others. And one of the things about this group is that the people here are just extremely generous with sharing their knowledge. And with John and Kirk taking over, it's going to continue and even get better. So I can't wait for them to go ahead and start letting you take over for next month when it happens. Now, I do have giveaways today. So I'm sorry, because I probably should have started this earlier, but I don't know of a way to go ahead and do this fairly. So what I would like to do is, if you guys just take one of these cards and pass it on, since I'm not going to be using this because it has my name as the organizer, take one, pass it around, put your name on the back. If you want to put your email address on there, actually, you know what? We don't need email addresses because the meetup is going to keep on going. So if you're not in part of the communication of getting the email blasts from this group, then make sure you go to meetup.com to the SCV Internet Marketers group. And you can go to the website, scvinternetmarketers.com/meetup, and it'll redirect you straight to there. It's free to sign up, but you can get the emails there. So put your name on the back of the card, and that way we'll just... I don't know whatever happened to that guy. But so some of the things that we'll be giving away today, I'm going to let you guys, as you get drawn, you'll get a chance to pick what you want in an effort to support Barnes & Nobles for their generosity of letting us use the room for all these years. I bought some gift cards for Barnes & Nobles. So these are $10 gift cards. There's 10. You know what? There's enough giveaways with this limited amount of people. Oh, you know what? Wait, no, you can't use that pen. No, you can't use that pen because it's capped. I have one here. Okay. No, the new ones. The new ones are. I'll explain here. Use this pen. Okay. So I think I have enough stuff for everybody today to get something. But you get the chance to choose. But if any of you get a chance to talk to the store manager of Barnes & Nobles, please thank them for I think it's for their generosity. Oh, just put it on the table. He's working on it. Please thank them for the generosity of letting us use this room for so many years, because they really don't have to, and it's free, and it's an excellent place. Also, they do allow us to eat and drink in here from the cafe foods that come in. So all we ask is that you just make sure you put it away and throw it on your way out. but there are $10 gift cards, and here's why these pens don't work yet. So well, let me explain the story now. This is my marketing for this pen. Okay, because you know how there's that little thing, sell me this pen. I'm going to sell you this pen like no other. Okay, I have brought 12 of them. These are my most prized pens. Seriously. We were signing documents to close escrow on our house, and a notary came over, and I used to be a notary. And one of the worst things you can ever do is have pens that don't work. So this notary comes, and he's been around 20 years. First thing I take notice what pens he's using, because these guys know their pens, right? He brings out his regular pen. It's called a tool pen. I think it's made by Pentel, one of those major brands. This is just their line. TUL pens. He brings it out. I start writing it. It writes like a $50 pen. I kid you not. And immediately, I test it on a regular piece of paper and swipe it. It dries instantly. That's another thing too. Also, the tip is extremely fine. So you can write really small and really small books, and you won't have to worry about smearing. But the other thing that's really killer about this, I used to love gel pens. One is it takes about 5 seconds before it smears. The other thing is, even though it looks like it has ink, some of them just dry up in the middle, and it's the most ridiculous thing. If you are signing $100,000, $600,000 escrow documents, you cannot let a pen fail on you. Right? So I was thinking like all of these things about how many people have lost. Probably tens of millions of dollars over the years over a pen that didn't work. I mean, can you imagine signing like somebody's trust, and then the pen doesn't work and it flies off a building or something like? I mean, there's like so many scenarios. Or a pen. I mean, the pen can do so many different things, but most of all, it can take notes. It's really important, even when we're on a digital world. I carry this notebook around with me because you just never know. For one, a phone cannot do that and have to not worry about this. That's one thing you can. It's not indestructible, but it is very, very safe. And it's your own handwriting. For me, my handwriting's so bad it's almost like code anyway, so I don't have to worry about it. But these pens, I kid you not, they are super. In fact, I bought. My wife thinks I'm ridiculous, but I have like packs of these pens on it. Now, they're relatively inexpensive because they are, like regular office supply pens. They're not, but they write. I seriously, trust me, everybody that I've come across that still writes today, because a lot of people don't, they all agree with me. This is the most incredible. I do not know why someone is not putting an advertisement out there. I don't know. Maybe I'll send this video to them, but these are the most incredible pens I've ever come across. And I highly recommend, if you win or get a chance to go ahead and become one of the people that's come up first, there's 12 of them you can pick. So when we do the drawing, I think there's enough stuff, like I said, to give out to almost everybody, because there's 12 of these pens. There's 10 of the $10 gift cards to Barnes & Nobles. We have 3 books that are being given away this book has changed my life. So my wife wrapped them. It was not bought from here. So please do not open it in here. But you can. It's the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. If you've never read it, it can really change your mindset about money. I highly recommend. If you have read it and you know someone who is kind of in needs of trying to figure out how to make more money, get this for them and give it to them. It makes a great gift. So there's 3 of these, and we have the last of the SCV Internet Marketers t-shirts. Okay, so there's still some of these left. My wife wrapped them, and she made sure that the sizes could be seen. I cannot remember the order of what there was. So there's 2 mediums, 3 mediums, 1 large, 1 small, and another large. So 2 large, 3 mediums, and 1. So we have a bunch of stuff to be giving away today. And like I said, I'll probably go ahead and John, how long is your presentation? Okay, so I have a little more time. What else did I? Do you have anything you want? No. Okay, so my little segment, my last part of what I want to go ahead and share regarding the internet marketing thing is, I don't know if anybody of you follow me on Instagram, but most of you know I hate social media. In the last week, I'm totally addicted. I'm about 10 years late to the game, but it's only because of this little camera here. Now, I guess I'll be a little more personal with you guys here. about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had a panic attack in a theater, a movie theater. And it was one of those where I told my wife, I have to get out of here. I don't know what's going on. I've had panic attacks before, but I've learned to control it through internet marketing things that I've come across. But this was weird because I'm in a big open space in a theater in a front row. There's a lot of space, and for some reason the lights went out, and I started having like a claustrophobia panic attack. It was physical, and I did a lot of research on it. I could not figure out what the heck was going on. I went to get a bottle of water, came back, sat down, and what really started to really accelerate everything is I've had a claustrophobic panic attack on an airplane, and it's terrifying. And I don't know, I've flown all over the place. I'm from Hawaii, go back and forth, and never had issues. But I don't know, as you get older, I guess sometimes it just happens. Things like this come around. So I had one of those, and I started thinking if I could get myself out of this, like other than just imagining, like one of those VR glasses that you could put on, and I could put myself somewhere else with one of those things, I could probably get myself back out of it, because once the movie began at certain scenes, it takes your mind off of things. So I was thinking, I cannot not fly. I have family in Japan. I have family in Hawaii. Family, I mean, there's all over the place. I need to be able to still fly. So my ideal was the VR glasses today that you stick your phone in them and it makes whatever video you guys where you turn your head and whatever scene it is, it actually turns the view like you're there. It's pretty darn cool. So I was looking into it and I came across this camera for Cyber Monday, and it was $80. You go on the Samsung website for Best Buy, $80. If you go on the Samsung website, it sells for $249, which is still a reasonable price for one of these things because the quality. Went through all the review videos. They said this is actually a pretty darn cool camera to go ahead and use, especially for a starter. So I ended up buying it, and it is kind of, if you want to see some of the stuff that I've been playing around with, it's all on Instagram. Now, just know I'm still new to it, so you're gonna see like hardly any hashtags. I still don't get the concept of it, and I'm learning it. And then, of course, my wife is the one trying to tell me, but I don't have time to do all that stuff. But I am going to start. You can follow me on Facebook. But the main thing is I'm going to take this camera, stick it in the sand, watch a sunrise in Hawaii for 2 hours. Hopefully I can get there because I don't have it until I get there. Watch a sunrise for 2 hours and let it record all the way through. And it's a 360 view. So if I do turn my head, I can even see behind. There's some really cool desolate beaches, cliff beaches that I know of that I can go to and just set it up and go. Now, I've done it before with a still cam, watching a sunrise, and I put it on YouTube, and it did really well. I put it in a fast pace so that it came up. So I'd like to do that again. And so I've been learning how to use this. And in the meantime, I'm learning what's called tiny planets, which makes this really cool effects of everything looking big. So I started playing with this. And then what I started realizing is that some of the best users of these use it for marketing. And they do some really amazing things. And what they talk about is how they actually make their living on this, traveling the world using these cameras now. Of course, they're doing reviews. They're doing a lot of affiliate sales, but that's their life. They just use it. Now, and I'm not going that route. I just want to say that these cameras, in my opinion, will be a lot more heavily used when it comes to vlogging, just in general travel blogs, also for marketing. Right now, if everybody waves, I can see a picture of that. In fact, I'll take a shot, putting the camera right in the middle, and everybody just looking where you're sitting and just waving, and you'll be able to see a whole 360 view. You can the manipulation, the software that you can use with this stuff. A ton of it is free. You can all the different manufacturers have their different software, and a lot of them will lock 50% of the features, so you can use another camera's pictures on another manufacturer's software. But if you really want to unlock it, you have to hook your camera up to the to your computer, and it knows that it's a real camera that you must have bought it. It'll unlock all the other features. But the free stuff is enough to do some really cool stuff with it. And it can run for about 2.5 hours on a 32 gigabyte chip. But I think it hold up to 128 gigs. So it can do a ton of hours until the battery ends up dying. But there's a lot of cool features. If you're looking into potentially wondering what about video, it does 4K is another thing. And it doesn't have to be 360. If you just want to use it to go ahead and just do a recording straight away one way, you can do that as well. I wish I could show you some the examples, but if you look at 360 videos or Tiny Planet on YouTube and just some of the stuff that's, like I said, it's amazing. The high-end cameras that do really good quality are still affordable at about a $300 range. And they do 4K, the stitching. All of this stuff that's like sticking out here is visible in the camera. It sees below as well. And
of course, it sees everything around, up, and it's technology that's been out there for a while. But for a lot of people, I walk around with this, and people are just when they see what's on my phone, because it connects to most phones, the software that's on it, so you can control it with your phone and see what's going on. That's when people are like, told. I'm standing in line at Universal Studios, and my wife's like, people are just looking over your shoulder, saying, "Isn't that cool?" It is. It's really cool. So, another option for your marketing, because you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. It really is. Teresa, with flowers. I'm gonna say that you put this in the middle of a flower bed, I think you can get some really cool effects as well on that. Something you might want to consider. As for, and I said, this is a great camera. Um, I don't know. Any questions about that? Okay, yeah. It's not. I looked yesterday. What? So it's been like $80 for us. That's crazy because Samsung on their website is for $249. No, that's a good question. There is a software, Vixia. Vixia, there's another manufacturers, but that's how I throw it in there, and we can do all of the different effects on that. And it has, like I said, some really cool effects that you can actually take advantage of for marketing. And like I said, even if you're gonna take it takes 4K. So if you need something that's set up on a tripod because you don't use a phone, then this is a great cheap option that you have available. So that's my little pitch for education, but also for what's new that I found. And like I said, what made it so addicting is because it's 360. When you put it on Instagram, people find it because it catches your eye really, really quick. This is called the Samsung Gear 360. This is the 2017 model. They actually call it it's 360. Yeah. And it actually, like I said, does have a 2017. There's only 2 models. The older one takes better stills, but it's a bigger ball. And then this is the newer one, which is a little smaller, and it does this one instead. But check. Let's see if I can. Okay, so this is a 360 video that somebody put up there, and it's actually staying still, but what you're seeing is just the water movement. This guy does a lot of this stuff like this. I'll show you what. And this is one I took this morning when I was on my walk, or this afternoon on my walk. But these are what called tiny planet type pictures. And this is just at a theater. Let's see. So this is one of the videos. But all of this can be done on your phone, the editing, everything.
How do you walk upside down?
Yeah, isn't that cool? So I watched a YouTube guy, and he showed how to do that, and it's really quite simple, to do something like that. And like I said, it's one of those things. I'm just having a blast, having fun with it. But fair warning, it is a major distraction from your real business when you start playing with it. Yeah, it really is. But like I said, I'm going to be using it for multiple purposes that are actually going to be for business later. But this is one of my favorite pictures that actually came out with it. And all it is we're just under some lights, but because of the 360 lens, it actually opens up like that, where it has this shining type of thing that comes through. And this is in front of Universal Studios. Oh, I like my but yeah. So the reason why my Instagram, I mean, people probably think, oh, that's all he puts is these weird looking round pictures. But one of the guys because I'm so not used to social media, I have to follow what somebody says. And he said, if you're going to be taking a lot of 360 and playing around with it, make one account that's all 360, because you get a lot more followers who are into the same type thing. It's a niche. So that's why I'm starting to do that. And it makes sense. Like I said, I'm still learning hashtags, because when I add a hashtag, all of a sudden I'll get a couple more likes. People are starting to find it. So it's one of those cool things that I guess I've always been so bad at social media. But I'm finally going to go ahead and step into that world and start playing around with it a little bit more. I'm shamelessly going to say, if you do sign up, please like my stuff so I get more exposure, because I guess that helps in the long run. And let's see. Okay, so let's do a couple of giveaways, and then I'm going to have John come up. Oh yes, Kurt. Oh. Did I run out of cards? I don't have any more. That's it. I gave them all out. I thought I had a lot more.
Does anybody have a bunch of cards that
Does anybody have anything that can be written on? Oh, by the way, if anybody chooses to take one of these pens, the reason why you can't write with them right now is because they do come with a little glue dot to protect the tip. So before you start writing, don't say, "Oh, this thing doesn't even work." You need to pull off the glue dot on that way. Yeah, it works so good. They're invisible ink. Yes, you can use the one that does work. Okay. For those of you who came late, if you have a business card and you want to be entered, yeah, it's for giveaways. You can keep the card back if you want. If I'm not going to use it for anything other than giveaways. But
When we talk about cameras, I'd like to mention one thing that really hasn't been forward. Just came out a couple of days ago by AI. It's called the Osmo Pocket, and they're going to sell 1 million of these 4K 3 gimbal.
I got to bring that.
Palm of your hand.
Yeah, what is it?
Or anywhere, type in Osmo, OSMO Pocket.
So Steve was just showing us this before the meetup began.
Yeah, there's some pictures of it. Okay, yeah.
It's awesome. I
Yeah.
was just blown away.
Me too. I'm just absolutely stunned.
Okay, so they're talking about a 4K camera, this Osmo Pocket, and this little thing. This top is the camera. This head. So as you walk through, it actually is a stabilizer as well. It keeps it pretty steady on that. Some of these 360s have really high-end built-in stabilizers those are the more expensive ones. This one is, to be honest, even when I'm editing the video or even editing the 360 picture, because there's so much motion, I have to stop every 15 minutes because I'm going to throw up from motion sickness. I'm very sensitive to that stuff. So one of the drawbacks to my VR idea is that I've been already worn out. I know. But hopefully I can just stabilize that instead. So the idea is, if I have a camera just sitting there, it'll stay for 2 hours. I have a theory that I'm not the only one that actually could use a 2-hour escape of sitting on the beach watching a sunrise through a VR lens. And some people are saying it's so boring, but flights to Hawaii are 5 hours, flights to Japan are like 13. I need it to be boring and something that would just remind me. Plus, if it's a beach that I know from home, it'll just relax me even more. But that's one of the hopes. I don't really know if it's really all that bad, because I have been able to overcome it on flights before, but those are shorter. I've never had an attack in a theater. That's what worries me more recently than not.
We use that. We go to the rain sounds,
Yeah.
or like just a thunderstorm.
Yes. I'm hoping it will be as good as I hope. But if I don't care, because it's for me in the end anyway, it doesn't work out for anybody
I'm folding these a little bit because they're all too fat. In the meantime, as this is the last meeting, I've always wanted to make sure that anybody who had any questions about anything regarding internet marketing, you always get a chance to ask it. So I don't know what format John and Kirk will be doing, but I would like to find out, does anybody have any questions they came with that they would like to have answered? Because we have some brilliant minds right now. I highly recommend you take advantage of the people that we have here. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a request.
Sure.
I'm Debbie, I'm from Culver City area. My family found my tribe, and I've been looking for years. I'm looking for people that I can just connect with outside of this meeting that can help me get started in affiliate marketing. I can't find anybody in the Culver City area.
What's the next that you're going to send me?
I don't know. I want people that I can talk to. I've studied internet marketing since 2006. Have a little bit of success with that there. And I know a lot about everything, but can't seem to start with anything. And so if I could just, if you could just give me your phone numbers, and we can like chat on the phone or get together for coffee. I need some focus where I can finally pick something and just go forward with it, because I want after the meeting.
If anybody's open, then please, yes, that's exactly how a lot of us that can meet each other is kind of going on. Teresa, are there any more pieces of paper, Benny? Are there any more pieces of paper? Yeah. Oh. We're doing giveaways tonight. So if you want to know what your name is, if you want to go after the giveaway, we're giving away. Oh, by the way, so those of you who don't wonder why I'm not shaking with my right hand is I got a rash a couple of days ago, I think from Universal Studios on my right hand, and I don't want to give it to anybody. I'm serious. It's like, it's kind of gross. Hard to see, but it's there, and I don't want. So I'm doing fist bumps with my left hand. Yeah. According to what you know what they say, never read online about any ailments. So according to online, my hand might fall off. I mean, that's all. But on the minor side, it could be just eczema. But I just don't want to make sure. I don't want to give anybody. I had a rash. So by all means, fist bumps, left hand shakes, and left hand hugs. I mean, by all means, because I know I put it. I want to shake everybody's hand in the air, but then I told my wife about it, and she was like, "Don't come home." Okay, so the first person, John Carter.
I gotta try one of those pens.
Yeah, so we have.
I'm gonna take a pen. Thank you.
I honestly believe, I mean, okay, so the pens you can probably buy at Office Depot for like $3 or $4. Like I said, they're worth like 30 or 40. They write amazing. Okay, but if you buy them in packs, you can get them for like $1.50 in the pack of 12. I bought like a couple of packs of them, and then but we also have $10 Barnes & Noble's gift cards. But the pens are. Rich Jockey. All right. Mm-hmm.
See, I can buy the pen, but I figure I can't buy the T-shirt.
No, you're right. Those are the last shirts.
All right.
So that's a large. There's 2 larges, 3 mediums, and a small. I'm keeping the cards because in case we actually go through everybody, because I said, maybe there's not enough, but if there is, we'll put it back in. Deb, Watchley?
Selling point on the pens, I'm giving it to him.
If nobody takes them, then I take them home. I'm not going to be disappointed. Yeah.
Later on, I'm gonna have you sell something of mine, cause you're.
Yeah, I'm telling you, those pens, like I said, I've been giving them away, and that's why I keep on buying some more because that's how. Margie, bro.
open it here.
Bible Venture, Mike, this is yours, right?
Hey, Mike. Yay.
Did you say anything? You want a large t-shirt? All right, then you gotta hook me up if you do. Tom Smith.
Oh.
Hey.
What size are these t-shirts?
Those are medium, 3 mediums and 1 small.
Well, I can't go t-shirt, and I'll take a microphone.
Excuse.
Oh, okay, I'll take a book.
Natalie Brown?
Hey. Hey, Mike.
Mike, do you have a business card on you? We're doing giveaways.
Put mine back in there.
John Yenti? All right. These are 3 mediums, 1 small shirt, and then we have a book. These are $10 gift cards to Barnes and Noble, and some amazing pens. Okay, we'll do one more, and then we'll save the rest of it after. Teresa Krieger.
All right.
I'll get up there.
Okay. Okay, so we'll be finishing this up a little later, and John, do you? Oh, you need your thumb drive up, right?
Yeah. Just leave it there.
Okay. Okay, in case you. Okay, so John Carter, when talking to him, when he was telling me he's going to be taking over the group, I was so relieved. I mean, you guys couldn't be in better hands. Seriously, I mean, the guy really does know his stuff.
Stop it. Stop it.
But he's one. Every time I talk to him, he goes, "Hey, Chris, did you hear about this? Hey, Chris, did you hear about that?" And yeah, it's like I can't get off the phone because it's like just flooding me with information and cool stuff that he's found out. So
Hang on. Where's the?
oh, so just folder.
Okay.
So then he was telling me that he actually has some really cool techniques that actually would be really good for people to know who may not know how to really utilize Google as a search engine. And to be honest, there are a lot of people that I've seen use Google, not say wrong, you can't really use it wrong, but use it at a bare minimum of the potential that it has. So I thought it would be great for us to see what John actually has on showing us what could be done with this.
Okay. Let me just. You know, it used to be, by the way, excuse my voice, I'm going through puberty. And it's kind of tough, but it used to be that knowledge was power. But with Google and places like that, it no longer.
It opened. It's on the far right.
No,
Oh.
it Google text. That's what I wanted.
Oh, you know, my computer opens text documents in Excel
Oh,
because
okay.
yeah, some of the files we use so large that you want it in
Just text, just a notebook. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So, but today, everybody's got the power. All you got to do is the knowledge. You go to Google, you can get anything you want. So today, implementation of knowledge is where the power is. And about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I went to seminar in Las Vegas. And I met a lady by the name of Barbara Ling. Some of you may know her or know of her. But she has made a lot of money just on her knowledge of searching Google. Because what she does is she finds a problem, finds one answer, writes PDFs, sells them on Warrior Forum for 15, 20 bucks. And it's easy. So I asked her one time, I said, how in the world do you find all this stuff? And I'll share with you what she shared with me because it's quite interesting. Where's your, most people today, if they go to Google, they'll type in things like free internet marketing training, right? And you come up with a bunch of answers for free marketing. But what's interesting is if you ask it a question like Siri, you come up with much better answers. So instead of saying just the keywords free internet marketing, if you type in, see if I can just scrape this, be easier. I don't have it here. Sorry, folks. So
I'm
if,
so sorry for the mouse.
yeah. So if you type in, where can I get free internet marketing training? You actually get different answers, and they're a lot more precise to what you're looking for. So if in searching for with Google, when searching Google, treat it like Siri, ask questions, and the answers you get are a lot more relevant to what you're looking for. So that was one thing. A lot of people I've talked to, they say, well, you know, I saw where we have beanies, you know, with winter's coming, we need beanies, and I see them on Amazon for 17 bucks. I'd like to sell them, but I don't know where in the world to buy them. Google, which has billions and billions of data, has a thing called range. And what it is, you can put, let's say that you see beanies for $17, but you know you have to buy them between 3 and 5 to make any money, right? Very interesting. If you go dollars, 3, 2 dots, dollars, 5, space, and put in beanies, it'll tell you where you can get beanies from $3 to $5. Yeah, period. Yeah. You put the range of dollars that you want with 2 dots in between, and now you don't have to go out to AliExpress and start searching for these darn things.
It's cool. It even says add to cart $3. So I mean, it's actually looking at the metadata.
Takes deal hunting to the next level.
It just makes it so much easier for internet marketers if you want to find products, you know, with
We're just gonna buy some for Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking for things between 5 and 15 cents, but so if you're looking for products and you see where a product is so much money and you figure where you've got to be to price it to make money, this is the easiest way in the world to do it. Anybody ever do this before? Well, it separates the prices, and that's called the range. And if you just put 1 dot, nothing will happen. You put 2 dots, it works. 3 dots, nothing happens. So it's just the way Google works. So put your dollar, the lowest, the highest, separated by 2 dots, a space, and then whatever you're looking for, and it'll find it for you. Is that useful? Yes. Okay. Okay, so that's one thing. Then there is a thing that Google uses. Does anybody know about site, SITE, colon? All right. Some do, some don't. So let's just, what site does is it will it will look at a website that you designate and what you're looking for, and it'll find it. So for example, let's put in site, and it's followed by a colon. By the way, these are all what they call search operators. So there's tons of them. I'm just going to go over a couple of them. Let's say, for example, that you go to some of these authority sites like marketingprofs.com.
Missing an M in marketing.
Boy, there's always one in the crowd, isn't there? Marketing.
Ting. Missing an N.
Ah,
It's close.
is that right? Marketingprofs.com.
Yeah.
All right. And then let me take that out. Okay. And then let's say, because this is an authority site, you want anything that they have on list building tutorials. All right. So then you can do, just type in afterwards, list building tutorials. And it will search that site and give you everything that they have on list building materials, tutorials. You go site colon, the website, and then whatever you want off that website, and it will find it. Marketing Pros. It's just an authority site.
Also useful for just seeing if your website has been indexed in Google.
Yeah.
If you're creating a brand new website, you want to see, hey, is my website on Google yet? You just type in site in your domain. If it's on there, Google catches it.
Oh, another great thing that, like, let's say you have a website that's ancient, old, years old, whatever it is. You decide you're going to go get a new website made. Whoever your web designer is, build your new site. But they didn't take the time to 301 redirect all your old links to the site, so you can keep all that traffic and move into your site. All you got to do, take your site, go site colon, no space, domain name, but with the HTTP, try it without. And you'll get an index of all the links that Google knows about that site that has existed for a long
Right.
time. Then you gather up all those links. You can click them one at a time and see if it opens the 404 page. Does take that link.
Yeah.
Steve, do you think they index all the image?
Because WordPress,
John, can you
there's a lot of
can you click
junk
on
that's
images?
indexed.
Huh?
Can you click on the image?
Screaming frog.
Why?
Screaming frog pull all that data. So you can see.
So it does. It actually does index the images.
Oh.
This is actually from the same, so it actually does.
Now there's another thing here that if you'll notice, whenever you do a search, see that little thing that says tools? If you click on tools, you can come over here. Whoops, I want to go back to all. When you click on tools, you can find out, you can go to any time, and you can pick how long ago you want these things. So Google's been indexing for I don't know how many years. You don't want something that's 15, 20 years old, right? So you can click on tools and just go past year, and it'll give you stuff that's new. Okay. So any questions on site? I'll give you links to, you can learn these things.
So that's interesting. Like, you know, when they had certain fires in certain areas recently, and you want to look for Thousand Oaks fire, then you see like articles from like 2014 when there was one old one. But yeah, with that, if you go with the last hour, last week, or 24 hours, it'll
Yeah.
show all the most recent articles that are for that. That's actually really helpful because I'm like, how do you sort this by date? Yeah, exactly. It's like, what's the new latest news on how it's that's really
Well, when you do a search, just go to tools and then you can change how far back you want to go.
that's brilliant.
You can also put a custom date range.
Yes, yes, you can do custom date. That's also there if you look at it. You can do a custom range. Okay. Okay. The next thing I want to show you is a lot of times you'll want articles on things, but you want them to say PDF, right? How do you find PDF articles? It's real simple with Google. Let's just take a email marketing tutorial. Let's just do that again. Email marketing tutorials. Now, I could go ahead and click this. Let's just do that anyway. And you get all kinds of stuff. But let's say we just want to do just PDFs because we like to print them out and read them. If you give a space after that, and there's actually two ways to do it. You can put in file type, colon, or ext. So if you, for me, it's ext, extension, colon, PDF. When I hit, I only get PDFs on that. It will do HTML, PDF, MP4s, whatever you're looking for. After extension, you just tell them what extension and it'll find it for you. Is that handy?
Yeah, yeah, I was always using URL. This makes more sense.
Well, you can do it that way too.
But
Because
it would also throw, wouldn't throw all people.
yeah.
This makes more sense.
So just use the XT colon, and you can put these in any order. By the way, I could have started with EXT PDF and then a space email marketing tutorial. It knows what you're talking about.
What's the second one?
You can put the EXT PDF at the start or at the back. It doesn't matter. Whoa. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is it's called entitle. INTITLE colon. Now, what entitle is, it searches for anything that let's say we're going to be doing, say, internet marketing. It will look for any article it's got where internet marketing is in the title of the thing. And there might be millions of them, but it'll bring them all up so you can find them. And then you can go and sort them by date. So time, but if you go in title, and I've got one here, let's do tutorial. No, in title, it's all one word, colon, then a colon, and no space, you put start out. Now, it will find anything where in the title of an article, a website, or whatever, starts in total. But if you want to be very specific about words, put them in quotation marks. So if I put in here, I want tutorial, and I'm going to put in here internet marketing. And close it. It will only find titles where internet marketing is together. You could have a thing where it says internet groups do marketing. And if without the quotation marks, it would pick that up because internet marketing is in there. But if you want them together, you got to put it in quotes.
John, you're missing an N again.
Market. Look, I just spell it different.
But it's in quotes, it's gonna be a little harder. 'Cause it's a-
So now if I do a search, you'll see where internet marketing tutorial. See, internet marketing is together. Tutorial can be anywhere. Tutorial internet marketing tutorial beginners. And it's real easy to find articles on that. Now, but
This is searching only within title, not the body.
no, just the title. In title means title. Yeah. Now you can now do something a little different.
John, with quotes, it shows up exactly as it's shown. If you do marketing internet, it'll show up different things.
Right. If you don't have the
Yeah.
quotes, it will
You
show
have
up
to have
different.
them in the exact order that you want it.
Right. Now, if you want tutorials on internet marketing, but you only want PDFs, what do you do? EXT:PDF. All right. Yeah.
Does in title and some of these others, they support Boolean operators like and or and that?
We're getting to the Boolean. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Okay, so any questions on entitled? Yes, aren't we all? Aren't we all? So, any questions on entitled? Because we could go through hundreds of. Then the next one we want to look at is in URL. Why do you think that's important? Don't most people try in their URL quote what they do? Yeah, and so a lot of times, if you have it in your URL, it comes up different. So let's do an in URL. Now, I happen to like to go to forums. Okay, so now also the URL is not necessarily just the domain name. It could be, but any URL within that domain. So you might have, XYZ/purchases/internet marketing. As long as it's in that URL, it'll find it. Okay. So I happen to go to a lot of forums because I find that forums, whoops, hang on. Okay. So let's find a forum on email marketing. And I'm wanting email marketing in quotations. Why? Limited to that. Thank you. Okay. And all those are forums on email marketing. So a lot of times if you're looking for answers for things, forums are a good place to find them, search for them. Now, who here does drop shipping? Few people, all right? Most people think, oh, we go to China for drop shipping, AliExpress, Alibaba, whatever, right? So I wanted to find drop shippers in the United States because I drop ship, from the US. So in URL was the best place for me to find it. Because I wanted in the URL, I wanted drop ship. And you put it as short as you can because drop ship, it'll also come up drop shipping, drop shippers, all these different things. And so I wanted drop ship. And when I hit enter, I got tons of these drop ships, but I didn't know where they're from till you start searching. But Google is pretty darn smart. Because all I did is I put, okay, drop ship, American. And guess what? Huh? Oh, look, you know, you're just a bunch of critics. Haters, haters.
Mark Twain would say, I don't give a damn for a word that can, I don't give a damn for a man that can spell a word only one way.
Yeah. Well, that's me. So here, you can drop ship American. And I found down here a company that I use all the time. It's called Dropship American. Where is it?
You're still only on the filter for 1 year. You might have to go further back.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, make sure you take the filters off. And there is Dropship America. And this, when I found this, they covered drop shipping thousands of products. So if you're looking for drop shippers, if you're looking for products, if you're looking for tutorials, if you're looking for anything, it's real easy to find them on Google. Google's got everything in there.
Like if you wanted to find some also like local companies, like would, I know a lot of websites, like they don't put where they're at anymore. Personally, want to find local related, besides just like what shows up in the map, but find something that
Just type in the name of the city at the end.
city and
Yeah. Now, I don't know that there are any drop shippers in Santa Clarita, American drop shippers, but I could put in here Santa Clarita. No, oops. It says, you know what? You're putting in a lot of are you a robot? But there, 30 drop ship wholesale clothing in Santa Clarita, California. Right? So you can always, you can put it in any order and Google just knows. Smarter than you and me, I promise you. And you find all kinds of stuff. Any questions on that? Okay.
That's the post office.
Huh?
800-576 Creekside.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
Because I had a post office box.
All right. Well, okay. Then they can also Boolean. Does everybody know what Boolean, ors, ands, or an and is the one that, so you can use ors and ands. For example, here's one, file type. File type and ext are exactly the same, by the way. File type, let's do PDFs. And I'm looking for SEO or list building. Oops, I want list building in. Folks, as you can tell, I don't type a lot. Yeah, right. She tells me to fix my own breakfast too. And let's say you're looking for niche or niche, potato, it doesn't matter. Niche ideas. Let's say, for example, you're looking for PDFs on SEO or list building to do with niche ideas. There's profitable niche ideas. How to find a killer niche hacks. So people that don't, Yes, sir.
How does Google parse that? What I mean is, will it first put up things that have SEO or list building and, um, and then eventually way down, there'll be stuff that doesn't have?
I have no earthly idea. Yeah, I just know it works. I just know it works. So, all right. So you can use ors, ands all through it and it works. Parentheses around, yeah, if you have two words with an or, put parentheses around them, like I have there. And a lot of people that I've talked to, they say, I don't have any idea what niche to go into, right? Just type in untapped. Let's do it. Let's do this. UNTAPP. Untapped niches for next year. Well, Google Trends will just tell you if something's trending. And when we do the thing on how to pick products, we'll go over Google Trends. But Google Trends won't talk to you about niches, although you can put a niche in there and see if it is trending.
You know what's funny about that search is that after you search that, no longer untapped. Because everybody's gonna answer it.
But there's all kinds of things in there.
John, can I add something? Or are you
Sure.
the minus?
Yeah. There's also, if you want something excluded, like for example, if I wanted drop shippers, but not in China, put a dash China and it won't come up. Anything in China won't come up. The dash and the China have to touch. All right. But yeah, it's a minus. Yeah.
So like if for some reason the word unprofitable niches keep coming up, and you want only profitable ones, you can actually put in your search minus unprofitable.
Yeah.
That way, all the unprofitable stuff gets filtered out, and that's one of the things that like if you don't want to see anything from Viper Chill, you can actually do. That's actually one of the most common ways to do searches. If you don't want to see anything on Amazon, because if you're doing product searching and research and Amazon keeps coming up and you want to get rid, just put minus Amazon.com and the Amazon searches won't be part of your listing.
So I'll leave you with this. If this kind of thing, and you like it, there's a website here called alttechshare.com, ALTECHSHARE.com /Google search
You might have two
dash. Oh, did I misspell it again?
Your alt tech might have two L's. Is it supposed to be two L's?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think it's one L.
No, Alltech search tricks
Dash or a space after Google?
Dash.
dash.
Dash trick.
Six tips.
Alltechshare.com. Whoops. I must have spelled something wrong again.
What is tricks? Tricks tips is one word you have at the top.
Oh, tricks dash.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. And here's 150 Google search tips and tricks.
John, we're just gonna, after the alttechshare.com, what comes?
This is Google dash search dash tricks dash tips.
Google search. Can you make that bigger?
Oh, here, let's go.
So what's my word doc?
There it is. And that will give you almost all of these things that you can use with Google search. All right.
Thank you very much, John. Zucchini? Zucchini, you're here before I announce, there's like 3 medium shirts if you want a shirt, one small. These here are $10 gift cards to Barnes & Noble, and these here are the most amazing pens in the world. John, thank you so much. I noticed something new. Doug.
Yay, Doug.
Itching for one of these pens.
We all voted for him.
Yeah. Hamilton.
Yay.
I'm a broke college student, so I'll take the gift card.
What? Dean.
Hey, winner, winner, chicken dinner.
I think I'll do a pin. Thank you.
Frank Enriquez.
I'll take a look. Thank you.
Ruby. Great way to learn people's names. Mike Intellect.
Yay, Mike.
Jan.
What did you say?
So $10 gift card to Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble. Hotel institution.
Those are t-shirts. So these are the mediums or not the small? No, those are already gone. Sorry. G? Be some others. Oh, you know what? I was actually really debating on buying it to have a giveaway. I really was.
Can I put this one back?
No, that. Steven Mejia? We have one. Thank you. Bosman.
Thank you.
Thomas Gregory Srocco.
Thank you.
Kurt Becker. Don Moran.
Thanks.
Anthony, did you put your name in?
I might have forgotten.
Brian Winter. Okay, did I call it? Who did not get called? Besides Anthony. Anybody else? Anthony, if you can come up. Anybody else? Did not.
Hand me that camera.
Well, that's perfect, because the only thing I left is t-shirts. So,
And I have a copy of this, so.
if you want to give it, if anybody wants,
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, anybody did not have a copy that wanted it, I have a copy.
But I can give it away.
These pens come with the 32 gigabyte.
no, not anymore. No, I wonder if I still have one of those. Yeah, we had those.
Sure, okay.
Okay, so I don't want to go home with these shirts, and there are 3 mediums and 1 small. You think a medium? Oh, sorry.
Teresa, one second.
Enthusiastic throw.
Mike, I don't know if it'll fit me on the medium.
I was gonna say 2 mediums, double stack.
All right. So does anybody have any, I guess? 820. So,
Can I jump up there and talk about it?
yes, absolutely.
The thing with John's, I love John, because John, when you talk to John, you always learn something. And-
Always.
And you get a good story.
That's what he said I didn't.
Yeah.
And, but being a developer, I'm horrible at marketing. Why defend this guy and this guy? But from a developer standpoint, have you guys, anybody here ever used the dev tools in Chrome? Or?
F12?
So I just thought of that while I was doing it. There's a lot of stuff in there. May or may not, there's information about where links are going, things that are happening in the background on the website. Just throw that out there.
After 12?
We'll
Um,
make you the first speaker.
Are you going to talk about chess?
I'll just wait.
No, because I mean, I was going to mention it if you weren't going. I mean, I didn't know if you wanted, if that was what you were.
That's not like.
Okay, I just, for those of you who may not know, one of our previous members who used to come on and off, he actually moved out of state, but he was a brilliant marketer. And he was a really good SEO. I learned a lot of us actually learned a ton of all different kind of stuff. He was a monster tester. That's the one thing you could always depend on this. But for those of you who have ever met Chaz Key, unfortunately, it was about 2 weeks ago, a week or a week and a half ago, he passed away. Yes. Oh, the Sunday after Thanksgiving. That's right. All I heard was just a heart attack. Yes. He does
48.
at 48. Yes, and he leaves 2 young teenagers. So for those of you who are praying people, just pray for his kids. He was an amazing father. I mean, that's one thing I can say. An amazing man. But one thing that I really admired is his life revolved around his kids. They did not go without knowing that their dad loved them. And for those of you who ever met him, he's also a guy that shared a ton of knowledge, and that's the one thing that was just an amazing thing about this whole internet marketing family that we are in. If you're getting into this world, is an amazing niche. Okay, so for one thing that I can leave as my last time as the organizer is if you run into hard times and you fall down, just get back up and keep going, and you have a support more than you know. It was so lonely in this world before finding Wilson Matos and then finding the other gentlemen in this crew, in this group, and growing the relationships that we've grown over the years of this. And it's
a lot larger now. Now, granted, there's a lot of sharks in the sea, so I want to also make sure that you know wherever there is an opportunity for people to take advantage of others, there you're going to see that. But this has been one group that has been really a pond full of helpful fish. I guess that's the best way. There's no shark that we had any issues with, and those type of things that came around. And in fact, the people here have just been so good. Even beginners, if you don't think you have something to share, you do, because there's always somebody newer than you. Always. If you've been here even one meeting, there's somebody newer, and you can even just help them along, because we all started there in the beginning. For those who don't know my story, it took 4 months, literally, of like 8, 12, 14 hours a day, 4 months, just trying to build this small little website. And then I made 1 cent. And you would have thought I won the lottery. My wife was ready to kill me. I wasn't working other than on this thing. We were making any income. And I was just telling her, it worked. I made a penny. And then the next day I made 3 cents. The next day I made 25 cents. And then of course, first 3 days it kind of went up. And then of course the next day after that I made nothing. And then 2, 5 cents. But it started to grow. And after that, businesses came out of it. Amazon came out of it. I mean, 6 months in Amazon after a launch, I think I made like 20,000 the first year, gross. Okay, maybe I was gross income, and there was profit after that, after all the expenses I'd gone through. But it was an amazing ride. And then with Stephen, meeting him, and by the way, I do not want to neglect the fact that Stephen has been an essential part in the last 4 or 5 years, 5 years, 4 years. Since yeah, I mean, essential part of this group growing. Without him and the live streaming that has been there, but also honestly, I mean, it takes a lot of, I guess, of encouragement. It does. Business can be hard. It can be, and Stephen has been the encouragement to keep this going, and the excitement behind it. And even when we weren't business partners yet, just knowing that he'd be coming out or he reaching out to me, I mean, it's pretty amazing how my life has been completely transformed because of you guys, each and every single one of you that come out, the new people every time that comes out. So I encourage you, if a lot of this stuff that John went over your head, more will go over your head and even higher. That's just the way it is. But as I don't know who I was talking to, but somebody was saying, the more we learn about internet marketing, the more we realize we don't know what we don't know. It gets so much faster, so much bigger. And even Google in itself. I mean, I'm heavy into Google ads all day long in my job. And every time Google comes out and talks to us about the new products that come out, my head just spins. They are coming out with so much technology right now. Just so you know, for those of you having a hard time advertising on Google, this is already in the beta, and I think they've already started to announce this. Hopefully it's not a trade secret, but they are making it so all you have to do is put up your website. You tell Google you want ads. They will pick an ad and make it and do everything all automated. Take content from your website, and it's not people doing it. It's computers. They'll create it, and then they'll test. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to make like little video clips too. That'll be coming, and they're going to test all this stuff. And as it starts to learn what works, Google will do all your advertising. I don't know where I'm going to be in a job. I haven't think about it. But it's pretty darn amazing what Google can do. Like he said, he doesn't know how Google does it. They just know, and they do. They just know. When it comes to the advertising side, if you're being on the big side advertiser, a lot of the automated stuff is just absolutely amazing on how they can figure out what's going to work best for you as long as you're willing to throw some money at it. It's pretty amazing. But I don't want to take up too much time. Anthony, if you want to come up. Oh, yes, Teresa.
Can I just say that something very, that I would like to begin with, if possible, that when somebody is struggling with the marketing, something that is going on in the business that they feel like kind of ashamed or not wanted to share because they don't feel comfortable with the group, that if I just want to leave that outside the door and then just come over here and ask the questions, because that's the way that the group is really going to help, because if the people that is in front don't know the answer and somebody else in the group will have an idea or will have the answer. I think that would be a great way that the most can do it.
I'll tell one of the future organizers to make sure that they make that a point. No, but it's true. I mean, I've always wanted to say, make sure you ask your questions. don't be afraid to
Discuss
ask
with
it.
him.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
our cell number's gonna be on the page.
Like, Anthony?
Thanks for having me. Hello, everyone. It's good to be back. It's kind of like home. So thank you for welcoming. So I just wanted to. I told Chris I would take 5 minutes, and he knows when that means 5 minutes. Sometimes I can talk for half an hour, but I wanted to jump up here and just say a couple quick things. One, in terms of Chaz, he was a great guy. He was a great mentor to me, and we'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. But we have a little thing we're going to do for him a week from tomorrow. So not tomorrow, but the following Wednesday at the Wine 661. If you guys want to come out and have a drink with us, 7 p.m. We're going to do that. So that's one of the things. Another one, I know Chris mentioned how talented he was. A lot of people may or may not know this, but his Amazon business had done over 10 million in sales since he launched it. So he was really awesome with that. But yeah, for those of you I know, great to see you again. For those of you I don't know, welcome to SCV Internet Marketers. I'm super stoked to be a part of this. I actually was sitting right over there. I got my start in this room. I was a broke college student at COC. A friend of mine, Christopher Arias, knew Chris. I don't know how, from Animal Behavior College, I think. Somehow he knew Chris, and maybe he just knew about the meetup.
His dad.
Yeah, and so I was going to school at COC, and my friend Christopher said, "Hey, did you know that there's a free internet marketing class at the Barnes and Noble?" And I said, "The one in Valencia?" And he's like, "Yeah, and it's free." And I'm like, "Oh, it's free? I'll go." So I went and I sat down. I knew nothing. I didn't even know anything about like opening an email account for myself to be able to get on somebody's list or something. Knew nothing at all. And I was sitting there, and Chris at the end. Well, first of all, I'll give Chris a round of applause for making this possible. But at the end of the night, Chris said, as he usually always does, if anybody has any questions, please ask him. I'd hate for you to leave without having asked your question. We're here to help support each other. And so I asked him, like, hey, I just built the website for the guy from the Love Boat, Gavin McLeod, but it's not even showing up on the first page of Google, like, for his own name. Like, how do I fix that? And he's like, well, you need a backlink. I'm like, what's that mean? And he goes, well, you need other websites to link to you. And I'm like, okay, like what kind of websites? And he's like, well, it has to be something of authority that people can trust. And I was like, okay. So I left, and I knew that he was in a deal with Princess Cruises where he was their spokesperson. So I reached out to the manager that communicated with Princess on his behalf and said, hey, can you get us some links that say, hey, Gavin McLeod's new website is live, and send a link over there. And so they did, and he ended up ranking for his name the next day. And eventually we started outranking IMDb for his name, for his new website. So I came back and I sat down again and I said, hey, you won't believe it, it worked. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I got a backlink, like you said. And he's like, yeah, what happened? I'm like, I'm on the first page of Google now. And he's like, wow, nobody ever does anything with this stuff we talk about.
It's true. You're the first that I said, I'm going to do it. Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, results. Like, how awesome. And then not even, I don't know, 2 or 3 meetings later, just so happened Chaz was standing right over here. And he was teaching you guys, or everybody in the room, about how to rank your videos on YouTube. So would you guys like to learn what he shared that night? So can we pull up just like a YouTube, if you uploaded a video screen? So we show. We're going to quickly run through this. I actually don't talk with them anymore, but my aunt still manages them, so I probably could reach out to him. Is there any specific reason why you're saying that?
Since he ranks so high.
Yeah. So, can you just like click on like upload a video?
Oh.
Or like pretend we're opening.
I got a question, Chaz, was doing a lot of this. Course or something?
He has a course, and it's in his ClickFunnels account. And I sent a message to Dave Woodward at ClickFunnels, ask if they could like go in there and see if. I have no idea how far along it was. But when I talked to Chaz last about week before he passed away, he was pretty much ready to launch a course to teach people how to get reviews on Amazon. So I imagine the entire course is great, because we were literally talking about making product launch videos. Any old video that exists, video.
I think this is the only one.
The only one, I click on that one.
What's going on
Oh,
here?
wow, you're in the beta studio.
Yeah, that's the only option I had.
Try videos on it. Oh, yeah. perfect.
Yeah, see where it
And
says
then
uploads.
Click on like that special ASM micro reader.
Special ASMR Anchor Redirect. Okay.
And then, okay, just close that. So that very night, Chaz taught everybody how to rank their videos on YouTube. So in the first box, they call it title. That's the title of your video. You want to put your best keyword phrase in there. Okay. And you can actually put space hyphen space and then your second best keyword phrase. In the first line of the description, you want to put the link to the website where you're going to go embed that video. Or the link to where you want the traffic from YouTube to land. So if you're selling a physical product, put that product landing page. In the very next line underneath the link of the description, you're going to copy the title that you put in there, and you're going to paste it in that second line of the description. Then under that, you're going to write, your standard 3 to 5 paragraph blog post style with your 7 best keyword phrases sprinkled throughout. And then underneath that, you're going to tag your video with those 7 best keyword phrases. So each phrase will be one of the tag bubbles. You'll have 7 of those. And then you're going to make an optimized image for your thumbnail. You want to, if you're using Photoshop, how many know how to put the metadata in the pictures? If you go into Photoshop, you can actually do file info under the file tab, and you can fill your picture with metadata, information about what it is. Once you fill it all in, name your picture with your best keyword phrase. And once you're done with that, just save your picture and load it into the.
Dude, you know what you gotta do is you gotta do a screencast that we can see some.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually still have the notes from that night.
Yeah, you should
From
create
him
one.
giving the lecture of how to do it.
Only because what you're saying, even though I know how to do that, it's hard without seeing someone do it.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, everything you want to optimize on the internet, whether it's for your blog or for YouTube, you need to figure out the 7 phrases you want that piece of content to get found. Right? What are those 7 phrases? And then once you know what they are, kind of choose in your mind which one is your most powerful phrase that you really want, and which one's like the not so big a deal phrase. And start with the title being the most powerful phrase. And repeat that in the second line of the description. Right above it, put the link where people are going to go. And then write the description to optimize for those 7 phrases. Use them again in the tags, and then use the best one in the file name. That'll help you rank it.
The reason I'm switching over is that because I think my browser has TubeBuddy on it, and if for what he was talking about, there's a free. I think it's still free, right? A beta. I mean
There's 4 levels.
yeah, the early level. If I'd say YouTube it and then look how to use TubeBuddy, but it'll help you find out what are the key phrases that people are using on YouTube that you need to put in your descriptions and your titles to get your videos more optimized to be seen by the rest. So that's like I said, the early stuff is pretty free, pretty easy to use, but.
That's like a good amount of phrases because you're not going to be able to optimize one blog post for 20 things. And if you're only doing it for 3, it's not quite enough. And that's really what Chaz figured that out through years of doing SEO was started to figure out if you don't have enough phrases, then it looks like spam on the post. But if you have too many phrases, then it's too diluted for Google's algorithm to understand this is what it's about. But if you have that magic number of 7 with a primary 3 and then 4 supporting terms, and it makes it easy for the algorithm to know exactly what it's about.
I don't have it.
And it'll show up for the search in Google. It'll show up for the search on YouTube. It'll show up before they took all the videos off of Google search. Would have shown up on the page as well. I mean, Chris and I noticed But the other thing that he was talking about is like, in this room is people that are willing to share. In this room is people that started at a point of not knowing anything, right? Like I said, I came to this room not knowing anything, not even knowing how to use my own email inbox to do anything. And, early last year, I signed my first client for $6,000 a month and started doing all the marketing. And more than just what you do, it's like the opportunities you have are here and the relationships you build are here. Like Christopher and Stephen and John and John Dean and Brian and Kirk and Teresa.
I remember after knowing
Archie.
this guy for like 4 or 5 months, I'd be sitting there going, I created a monster. But you know what? He did everything. Literally, I told Anthony, you should try this because I know it works. Like next week, oh man, that's killer. It works. But he tried everything.
Yeah, I mean, the
Once
first
he's done,
time
try stuff.
that event that John was talking about in Vegas, he sent me the page, you should come to this event with us, and I looked at it, I'm like, are you sure we should even give this guy a credit card number? It's so scammy. And he's like, it's not a scam, I'm telling you. And we went, it was great. And we learned a lot, we met a lot of people. And, if it wasn't for this room, I would have never met Chess. I saw him speak that night about YouTube. I kept hounding him to teach me SEO. Okay, and started showing me that stuff. And we just became really great friends, and he's awesome. So we're gonna be honoring him on Wednesday, 7 p.m. at the Wine 661. We used to love to go drink, and so we'd love to have you there. If you get But other than that, yeah, it's super excited.
So I know that we're going over time. We have at 8:30. Most people. But I do want to give a chance to John and Kirk. Is there anything that you want to let everybody know what to expect, or things of as usual? Now they will be taking full control of the meetup.com site. They will also be taking full control of the website. So you probably see it look better because I'm not a web designer by any means. But if there's anything you want to tell them that.
Yeah, one of the things we're gonna do, is send a survey out to everybody as to what you want, what you would like for this group. Please fill it out and send it back so that we know how to gear the meetings so that you get maximum juice from them. I mean, it's no fun just sitting there and everybody going, oh, nothing going on. But if there's something you want, and you'll be getting a survey. We planned on every month doing at least one thing, maybe 20 minutes, new techniques that we've learned, new ways to do things that we've learned, even old things that we've learned, and sharing those, and then hopefully get everybody involved in doing that. Yes, sir.
So, January 1st is the first Tuesday of the month in the new year. Is there going to be a meeting in January?
You got a problem with that?
I will be in town.
Only that they might not be open. I don't know.
It will be the first Tuesday of February will be our next meeting. I didn't realize the first was on a
Do
Tuesday.
you want me to check with them to see if
The following.
you guys want to do the following?
Yeah.
I'll check to see if they can allow you. I don't know.
Okay.
Until you guys get started, because I don't want them saying, no, let's get started in the year first.
And I would also like to say while I'm here, thank you, Chris, for 7 great years. And Steve, his right hand.
I'll volunteer my equipment if they need it.
Just so you know, I mean, I don't know. Just so you know, one of the reasons why Stephen will be stepping out too is because he's going to be expecting a second child in early February.
A little bit.
He's gonna be busy because he already has what she's 2.
Yeah.
He has a 2-year-old running around too right now. So 2 of that. But I just want to say thank you guys all for this.
We expect to see you here, though.
You know what? Like I said, I'm excited. If there's some topics that I can squeeze out and come out and do it, by all means. My wife really did not want me to stop.
A lot of you guys already know, but she's a huge K-pop fan, and I can't stand it. So that was her night to just K-pop binge of every YouTube video that was out there and everything else. And her friend would come over, and they would just watch. And you know, and when I tell them I'm coming home already, you know, so yeah. She was gonna stop by just to say thank you because she does know some of you and say hi to you, but she didn't take care of the dog and watch K-pop. Oh yes, by the way, she wrapped and ribboned everything because you know me, I'm a guy. I would have just given pens without ribbon. She
I didn't rent it. She looked prettier.
but,
No,
yeah.
but she's always intended
Yeah, but she really did a tribute that you guys once a month really made my night. I mean, honestly, when I would come home, her business grew because of what I learned here as well. You know, and she's still doing business. She's now selling on Poshmark. She's now selling on eBay, and then she yesterday she said, "I'm making so much money, I can't handle it. All the orders." And I'm thinking big bucks. She was like, "I sold a $4 mug." And I saw a $4 mug. She had like 7 items, but she's selling stuff, and she's selling on Redbubble now, and she's actually selling K-pop stuff. Stuff, you know. So yeah, this Korean pop boy bands. No, yeah, those crazy.
I was just gonna say, shameless plug. I recently became a published author and got to contribute in. So it was all about a case study where we made like $70,000 on a giveaway funnel, your voucher funnel. So my goal now is to start to find other people that these funnels would serve. So if you have a physical product, that would be a great fit. If you're a local business owner, that would be a great fit for these funnels as well. And in a nutshell, there's a contest funnel. So it's like, hey, we're giving away XYZ thing, like a Starbucks card or Barnes & Noble card, or gift card of your business, or something your audience would know. That's the enter to win contest portion of it. Then the second leg of the funnel, or the second page of the sequence, is, hey, when you do more good stuff, we're giving away this other thing. Right?
Do you have a landing page? Right?
Yeah, it's all up at purpose-driven-marketing-podcast.com. And then the third page of it is claim your, or really the third page is winners announced. So it's like everybody that's in the contest or the giveaway can go to a page that you send them to, go see if they won, and then on that page you sneak in an offer with your product. So we're looking for people that want to be part of the next round of case studies, and happy to help you get the funnels all set up for you. And then it's really easy to do. The templates are all live. If you want all the bonuses and you want to learn more about what these funnels are, how they might work for your business, go over to purpose-driven-marketing-podcast.com/giveaway funnels. That'll give you access to all the bonuses.
Say it again.
So there's it's purpose-driven-marketing-podcast.com/giveaway funnels is the bonus page. So essentially it's one funnel page that's a contest funnel, one funnel page that's a giveaway funnel, one page that's a winners announced page, and then one funnel that's claim your voucher. A slew of different businesses and ideas. Something you want to try or check out for purpose-driven-marketing-podcast.com.
All right, thank you guys. That actually concludes 2018. I want to wish everybody a super prosperous 2019. And I guess I'll be stopping by when I hear some of the content you guys will be doing as well. And I don't if this works out really well, I will donate one to the group because I want to get an upgrade now that I'll tell my wife. But I will donate one to the group because I mean, when I'm done, you can say, oh, you know what I'd love to do? Can I? If you're shy, I totally get it. But I'd like to place the camera in the middle and everybody face the camera. And then it'll do a countdown. And if everybody just wave and take a shot, because I want to see what it looks like as a group picture that comes out of it.
You're gonna make them stand in the back.
All you have to do is, since it's a 360, just stay where you're at. Yeah, and then it'll
Stand up, get in here and wave.
Well, I'm right where I need to be.
Yeah.
They are.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so it's a 5-second timer. I think it makes noises where you'll be able to hear it, so.
Everybody start waving now.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Hey.
Will we know when it goes off?
When the lights go out, the Barnes and Noble closes.
I know.
It did it.
One more for good luck.
So I'll find out if it works. You guys will see it. Oh, yeah. You know what? I want to be respectful of privacy. Does anybody not want me to put it on Instagram? I can also Photoshop you a little blurry so no one can see who you are. But if there is one person, I won't put it up.
Give me more hair.
Hey, if everybody would be kind enough to put their chairs up again.
Oh, no, I got it.
No, you gotta go to sleep.